What is going on, guys? Sean Dunn coming back with a technical analysis. First time in quite some time. Here we have Kevin Danaher, a new SDTC online throws member. D3 athlete, represent St. Lawrence. Never competed there, but they had nationals there, I think, my senior year when I redshirted, so I missed out on that. But useless anecdote aside, yeah, Kevin is focusing on shot and disc this summer. Um, and yeah, excited to help him out. So let's take a look. Was pleasantly surprised to see your technique, Kevin. Not saying that, I expect everybody to have bad technique, but this is overall like a really solid throw, I think. Especially, for your size, you're 6'4", 235. Once you get your weight room numbers up and get a little bit more experience in the circle, there's no reason why I don't think you can't crush your goals of like 16 meters and stuff, and 15 meters in the disc. Like, that's definitely possible, especially with your size. Just get that strength and explosiveness up, and that'll go a long way with a solid technical base like this. So overall, like I said, I think a pretty solid throw. Nice, a little bit wider than shoulder width, right at the back of the circle. Pretty solid windup, getting a little deep into the legs. Getting over to the right side, unwinding out around this left side pretty well. You really get out over here. I think you might be able to shift over to your left side just a little bit more, or a little bit earlier. Use this right leg just a little bit more to get you over this left side. This left hip could be a little bit more out over this heel, but overall, as you actually pick up that right foot, you can see your shoulders over that knee, over that foot, and I think, like I said, your hip, or if everything could just be just like maybe 5-6 inches more out over this left side, it would help lengthen your path a little bit. But overall, like, this is better than most people I see. Um, you know. So yeah, solid entry, coming around that left side pretty good. Just try to get out there a little bit longer. Nice, relaxed right leg, getting a good right leg up and out. Nice right leg sweep to the middle. And so I think, looking at your throw, the biggest thing I think you need to work on is your middle and your finish. Like I said, your entry I think is pretty solid. If you keep this consistent, that'll be pretty good. You got your elbow up, level shoulders, left knee down towards the ground, right foot coming through, and then so it's like right through these next 5 or 6 frames where I think we need to make some changes. So if you look at your right leg as it comes through the middle, it starts to turn ahead, and your left leg extends just a little bit too much. So let's look at the right leg first. But yeah, you start to turn this right leg ahead. That toe starts to curl in. That right side, right hip, right knee starts to curl in a little bit. And because of that, as you come to the middle, you see it gets more dramatic. It looks like you're pre-turning your right foot, sort of, which I'm generally not a fan of, because that pre-turning that right foot causes your upper body to turn as well, and then that causes you to land a little bit more open than you otherwise would have. So, like, let's say if you didn't pre-turn that right foot, you might have caught with that left foot down with your shoulders here rather than right there. So just one frame, not a huge deal, but in the long term, the better you get with that, the longer you will have to accelerate the ball in the finish, which is what it's all about. So yeah, right leg, try to keep this inside of the foot, leading a little bit longer. Think about driving straight through the sector rather than coming across. So typically, what I like to see is, like, and you kind of do it, you see this right foot kind of land almost in line with this left foot where it came off, which I like. I just want to see this lead with a little bit more of the instep, lead with your adductor, lead with the inside of the foot like you're kicking a soccer ball, sort of, and then keep this, keep your upper body facing the sector just a little bit longer. As you can see, once again, that right foot starts to curl in and this upper body starts to turn. So like I said, just face the sector a little bit longer as you go through the middle. It'll help create patience and separation. Well, you need patience to create the separation. Otherwise, through the middle, you can see your left knee is down. That's good. It stays down. It stays down. and then right as this right leg goes to the middle, this right knee straightens out and pops you up just a little bit. So as you can see, there's just a little bit of hang time here of no support. You want to minimize this time up in the air. So what I would recommend is, once again, get this right leg a little bit more open, sweep it a little bit lower to the ground, at least, so like around here it's fine, but then as you can see, it kind of comes up, and that right hip even kind of driving up towards the sector is kind of what brings you up as well. But well, 1 second, gotta pause. All right, so slight pause interruption. Obviously you guys won't hear it because I paused the recording. Yeah, so I had to take a call real quick. So picking up where I left off, like I said, this left leg extends just a little bit too much. This right knee swings up, and this left leg also extends upwards. You see this left leg extending up, and you need to minimize that sort of flight time through the middle, because that time in the air is time spent decelerating rather than accelerating. If you're, you can really only effectively accelerate when you have both feet on the ground. You can accelerate a little bit when you have 1 foot on the ground, but when you have no feet on the ground, there's really no acceleration going on. You're just decelerating. So really try to keep this left leg bent. Drive once again. Face the sector a little bit more across the ring. Try not to turn, and then also try not to extend this left leg so much. So keep that left knee down towards the ground. Drive this right leg more flat across the circle. Don't bring it up. And then otherwise, that'll keep you a little bit more open, or like I said, facing the sector, open towards the sector rather than facing the back of the circle. As you can see, you kind of do as his right foot touches down. You're facing probably, back about 45 degrees before zero, and then as that left foot comes down, you can see you're facing probably 45 degrees after zero, almost. You're facing almost 90 degrees. As this left foot actually starts to get some weight into it. So, yeah, try to stay down and stay a little bit more square, face the throw a little bit longer through the middle. If you do that and you get your legs underneath you a little bit more, feel the legs working, you'll feel more tension through, or more separation, I should say, separation or tension through the core, and that's where you really get the power into the throw. Is that separation. Another thing I would say is try to get this left foot. You can see right foot comes down, and you see this left foot kind of goes a little bit high. Not a bad thing, but I think you could just try to be a little bit more efficient. If this was left foot was just a little bit lower towards the ground, and once again, it'd be one of those things that helps that left foot come down a little bit earlier, like let's say like right there in this frame as opposed to 2-3 frames later. So lower left foot to the ground. And then otherwise, so like I said, the entry to the throw is pretty good. The middle is okay. The finish, not exactly stoked about, but it's something that we can definitely work on and change, and it's something that I think will help, especially as you get stronger, it will help you throw much farther. So as that left foot comes down, this left foot, or left arm already starts opening. So as you can see, the connection between this left foot and this left arm, the whole left side together. So if the lower you get that left foot, the quicker it comes down, the more rapid it'll be, because as soon as you start to rotate and try to put that left foot down, you can see this left foot's opening up, and like I said, you just land a little bit open. Not bad, but could be better. Otherwise, so left arm should be pulling here. You see this right leg really working, but you see, so the big thing over these next 4 or 5 frames is you can see, you look at your knees, you look at your hips, look at your ankles, look at your shoulders, everything is going directly upward. Not too much is really going forwards and out. And yeah, this isn't a great angle to be able to see the lateral movement, the front to back sort of movement, but it's very subtle, but you can see it, and you can see most of your energy that you had going rotationally around horizontally is now being transferred into vertical, and it needs to be, you need to kind of continue this horizontal acceleration path outwards with just a slight inclination of the trunk through the thoracic spine to get that angle of trajectory. That's all fancy terminology for saying you're jumping too much at the finish. That's all it comes down to. So, like I said, jumping too much, you're going to see a lot of extension. You can see everything. So, knees extend, hips extend, shoulders extend, knees extend, hips extend, shoulders extend. And then it goes 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 frames of solid vertical movement. So what I want you to do is as you come through the middle and this left foot comes down, you want to continue to transfer your weight forwards onto that left foot. You want to use this left arm, this left side, almost as a slingshot, or like think of it as a bow and arrow, except instead of you pulling the bow or pulling the string back and holding the bow forwards, you're kind of holding the string where it is with this shot put with this right side, and then you want to get this left side as far forwards as possible and get as much weight forwards into the ball while leaving the shot back behind you, and that kind of creates that tension. So the left side is the bow itself and the right side is the string, and you want to create, once again, separation between the left side and the right side, and then that gets transferred forwards, outwards into the sector rather than, so now you're kind of like taking all that energy and then just like forcing it upwards, and I think that it's just a tad inefficient. Otherwise, yeah, so bent left leg. Try not to extend this left leg. If anything, try to, what I'm going to have you do is work on a bunch of non-reverse work. Grounding this left heel a little bit. Not necessarily need to ground it, but the left foot needs to stay down. This left knee needs to stay a little bit more bent. And this right knee, you could even think about, rather than extending upwards with it, try to turn this right knee down into the ground. That'll help keep you more grounded and help you throw more out rather than up. I think that's one mistake a lot of beginners make, is they focus so much on that height and angle of release rather than focusing on the positions of their body. So they kind of sacrifice one thing for the other, when if they just did one thing right, which would be the position of the body, the angle of the release, and everything would come naturally. So once again, it's how far you throw, not how high you throw. How far you throw out. That's pretty much what I'm trying to get across here. But yeah, so just jumping a lot at the finish. As you can see, this left side could be a little bit stronger. You're still a little bit heavy on this, not I would say heavy, but you don't quite have as much weight over here on this left side as you need. As you can see, your shoulder and hip are a little bit in between in the middle of your stance, rather than this left shoulder really being over this left side. And then you can see, even as you finish, you kind of come, and you're driving just a little bit out towards the right sector, just slightly, rather than right down the middle or even down the left side a little bit. But yeah, so this left leg straightens out. So ideally, as the shot put leaves your hand, so like through here, you want to be on the ground. Maybe like right there. That'd be good. If you could keep your feet on the ground until the shot hits this point in the throw, that'd be a really solid finish. But as you can see, like I said, you jump, so you come out prematurely, and once again, you can no longer transfer force into the shot put once both feet are off the ground. So that's why. So you're missing out on 1, 2, 3 frames of action. These 3 frames, you could be applying force into the ball if you were on the ground, but instead you jump. So that's one thing we need to work on. But solid save. Pretty solid. So yeah, overall, I like the entry. You could get out over the left side a little bit more. Imagine this left side is there's a post, and this left shoulder, hip, knee, ankle, like I said, is an axis. It's a post, and then you want to move this right side around it. And then as the right side comes to the middle, that right side becomes a post, and the left side moves around it to the front. And then once you get to the front, that left side becomes the post again, and the right side becomes the engine and pushes the ball out into the sector. So left side, right side, left side. It's a good cue I used to use back in the day when I threw shot. So overall, like I said, entry is pretty good. Get around that left side a little bit more. Longer, lower, straighter, more open right leg to the middle, more bend in the left leg, straight through, face the throw a little bit more, and then stay grounded at the finish. Bent left leg, bent right leg, finish out rather than up. I think Justin Rohde is an excellent technical model to check out. Even Ryan Krauser is pretty good at staying, pretty damn good at staying grounded through the finish. But Justin Rohde is my favorite, especially some of the stuff like circa 2011, 2012. It's good stuff. So, all right, thanks for watching, man. Kevin, yeah, if you have any questions, let me know, and I'm excited to work with you. If anybody else out there would like a technical analysis or would like some summer online coaching, go to SeanDonnelly.biz, go to the services page, sign up. I got a whole bunch of different options. Shoot me an email or an Instagram DM if you have any questions. And yeah, all right. Thanks for watching, Sean Don. Peace and out.